Welcome inside our San Francisco studios. Yes, it is Inside Pac-12 Football. It's a season preview, and it's presented by 76. Mike Amlon with former Stanford tight end in Evan Moore, a multimedia superstar.
I think it's most interesting, you alluded to it, losing teams quickly develop what I would equate to an infection. And it spreads quickly throughout a team. When they start doing things poorly early on in the season, it can spread to all facets of what they're doing really, really quickly. And we saw that happen at Oregon last year. So trying to address those things are going to happen immediately for Willie Taggart. But what I'm more interested in seeing as it relates to the product on the field is what Oregon is even bigger than Willie Taggart. Oregon is this dominant football program that we saw over the last decade rise to where they are, and they did that largely because of their running game.
That's the question of the week. Who's going to play quarterback for the Kansas State Wildcats? It's an offense that takes care of the football really, really well. Alex Delton had his first start against TCU a few weeks ago, did really well the following week against OU. Skylar Thompson actually got some time last week against Kansas. Whoever's the guy that gets more snaps today is going to have a big responsibility to possess the football and keep the ball out of this Texas Tech offense's hands. I expect to see Alex more than Skylar today, but I think over the course of the day, we'll see both of these guys get some action.
Well, I think it's fair, like these guys did, to talk about the defense for Washington State, but the guy that's underappreciated every single year is Luke Falk. His numbers this year, just under 70% passing, almost 3,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. A lot of people credit that to the system, the success he has numbers-wise, but the system does not create the toughness and the poise that he illustrates on a week-in, week-out basis. And it was on full display on that final drive as they go down to go ahead against Stanford. On third down, backed up, he gets a twist up front. He's very patient. He trusts his protection, delivers the ball downfield to the dig route. That takes a long time to develop, takes a lot of trust in your protection. Great throw.
Leader against a pretty good defense.
Yeah, without question, he's been one of the most prolific players in college football all year long, and he's done it while losing some of his key receiving options to injury over the course of the year. Still able to manage over 3,500 yards and take a step forward in his junior year and ultimately give this team a really, really good shot to get to 6 wins and get to a bowl this year.
Giving these guys more and more reps, and they're unable to do that. And most of their competition, like Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, these guys are continuing to progress over the course of camp and get better by getting the amount of reps necessary that a starting guy needs throughout the course of August. And unfortunately, quarterback competitions don't allow you the opportunity to do that. And I asked you guys this in a general sense. We don't need to answer it now, but when is the last time a quarterback that won a protracted QB competition in camp went on to have a great year? It rarely happens.
We knew it would come at the first snap, and Alex Delton's a guy that, again, got his first start against TCU a few weeks ago, got a lot better in his second start against the University of Oklahoma, had them on the ropes 21-10 at halftime at home there in Manhattan. They expect big things, more improvement from here today as he runs this run-first offensive system. Yeah, you said it, Kevin. It's November football. Both teams are 4-4, get a chance to get one step closer to bowl contention today. And if Texas Tech is going to do it, they're going to do it on the shoulders of their senior quarterback, Nick Shimonek. Outstanding player, put up big numbers all year long in this system. He's done it by taking care of the football and being an efficient passer, and he's leaned on some really good wide receivers. Kiki QT, Dylan Cantrell, and Cameron Batson, a host of number of different guys that do things really well after the catch especially. Going to be a lot of fun to watch this offense today.
The goal here is to create some kind of sustainable model of success. You can't understate what they did from 2015 to 2016. Incredible feat by Mike McIntyre and this squad. But in a way, the way we're looking at this team and focusing on the losses they had on defense, including their defensive coordinator, in a way it's a good thing for this team because it puts a little more pressure on them. And there's some people doubting them this year. This is a team that won the Pac-12 South a year ago. If they had everybody coming back on defense, everybody coming back on offense, and their defensive coordinator, we might be saying they're the favorite to win the South, but that's not the case.
He's done an outstanding job. A lot of people call it the greatest turnaround in college football history after he got to Manhattan. And all he has done is win games and get the most out of everybody that comes to Manhattan. And he just deserves a ton of credit for his illustrious career.
Absolutely. It might be running back by committee, but there are a lot of running backs in the league that can run behind an offensive line that is composed of 3 first-round picks that have not been bust, that have proven to be dependable, good players. And when you control the line of scrimmage like the Dallas Cowboys have done the last couple of years, you're going to win a lot of football games. And there's a lot of backs not to take. Well, it's a good question because right now around the conference we're seeing a lot of quarterback competitions, both at Arizona, Cal, Utah, ASU, to name a few. But unfortunately, the way I see it is kind of a necessary evil. Coaches have to find out who their best player is at the position, but at the same time, they're giving equal reps to both guys. So the offense as a whole and the unit as a whole is unable to move forward and has to keep it pretty simple because if you're a coordinator and you want to progress to things that are a little more graduate level as a group, it takes getting these guys more and more reps. And not to be redundant as to what Mike said, but look, we realize Chip is a schematic innovator. He's made that very clear. We have evidence for that. What we don't have evidence for is whether or not he knows what he's doing from a personnel standpoint. And owner Jeffrey Lurie has said more than once that Chip is in control. And to me, that's a twofold suggestion. A, if it goes well, we're behind you. If it doesn't go well, you know why.
You're a
it didn't go well.
genius or you're
You're in
unemployed.
trouble.
I'm still not convinced.